At this time last year, the world was waiting for the inevitable and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. It began on the night of February 23rd for those in the United States. It was already the early hours of February 24th here in Ukraine. When I got on air in New York that night at 9 p.m. Eastern, it was quite literally the calm before the storm. On the night of February 23rd, 2022, the world would change over the course of just a few hours. For weeks prior, the world had expected Russian President Vladimir Putin to invade Ukraine. Putin's forces had already been shelling Russian-controlled regions of eastern Ukraine for days, and Russian troops had amassed along the entire Russian border with Ukraine and in Belarus, Ukraine's neighbor and Russia's ally to the north. It was not a matter of if, but when. In the early evening, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told Lester Holt that the invasion could be underway at any moment.
Do you have reason to believe that before this night is over, Russian forces will be engaged in something akin to a full invasion of Ukraine?
I do.
I took the anchor chair at our MSNBC headquarters in New York City at 9 p.m. Eastern Time that night. Our NBC News correspondents were spread out across Ukraine, in the capital city, Kyiv, Kharkiv near the Russian border on the northeast, and Mariupol on the Azov Sea. At that hour, things were still relatively calm throughout most of Ukraine.
They are poised and ready to come over that border at any time. The main risk here isn't that Ukrainians won't fight, it's that they will fight.
The calm would not last much longer. Flights of civil aircraft have now been restricted in all of Ukrainian airspace. It is now almost 6 a.m. in eastern Ukraine, and there are reports of noises being heard that could be explosions. An emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council was underway, and just before 10 p.m. Eastern, the U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield announced that Russia had entered eastern Ukraine. She has confirmed, however, things that we did not know going into this, and she says that they have information that Russian troops have now entered the Donbass. While the world's diplomats were meeting at the UN, President Vladimir Putin was delivering a speech to the Russian people, a speech that would essentially trigger the start of the war.
Well, the latest report from Moscow is that Vladimir Putin is speaking, or either has just finished or is speaking at this moment, saying that telling the Russian people that he has authorized a special military operation, as you said, in eastern Ukraine. That's apparently from Vladimir Putin's mouth.
And minutes later, explosions in and around the capital city of Kyiv.
We have yet to hear any sirens go off, however, in the city.
But that would soon change.
It's the early hours of the morning here in Kyiv, and people here in the capital city are waking up to the sound of booms. We've heard any number of what sounds like explosions in the distance just moments ago.
Kyiv, the capital of an independent democratic nation, was under military attack.
Trying to keep people calm, trying to keep people from panicking in what is, and there we go. I've just heard the first siren has just gone off. And I've been told by city officials that that indicates that this is a city under attack. That, again, is the first time we have heard sirens in the capital, Kyiv.
I just want to hold on there for a second, because you've been hearing explosions now for a couple of hours, and we were asking about these sirens. You said they'd been tested. Let's just listen. The sirens are now underway in Kyiv. The sirens are sounding to indicate that the city of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, is under attack. We have had reports of missiles and explosions. Let's listen for a moment. The war had begun. Our correspondents on the ground reported through the night, which was early morning in Ukraine, with the sounds of explosions in the background. I want to go to Kharkiv. Matt Bradley is there. He's hearing some shelling in the background. Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Ali, we are hearing some shelling right now in the background. It's actually behind the camera. We're trying to kind of figure out where it is.
I can hear it,
I'm not sure if you can hear it. It still sounds pretty distant. But it's ongoing.
Yet another large boom, another indication that this capital is under attack. Again, we heard from an advisor to the Minister of the Interior say that cruise and ballistic missiles are being fired at Kyiv, targeting military installations as well as airfields. Another boom just heard to my right.
It wasn't clear if they were responding to any particular incident, although now as we're speaking, I just heard one, sounded like one explosion.
I heard that
It may
too.
have been two, or that first one could have been the reverberation of the first explosion.
We are getting confirmation from Ukrainian authorities that Kyiv is under attack.
That is remarkable that you're hearing from the Ukrainians that there are missile strikes on the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. I just want to be clear. That's what you're telling us.
That is according to an advisor to the Minister of Interior.
This is a highway out of Kyiv. Look at the cars on the right side going into Kyiv, very few of them. Look at all those cars that are leaving Kyiv right now.
We're starting to hear some first rumblings of sounds of a ground invasion that's actually coming over the border from the north near where I am in Kharkiv.
It is a stunning reality to stand here in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv in a flak jacket telling you that this capital is now under attack.